This is a little video on how the Chrysler lifters work. These are the basic, can you see that? Basic parts inside the Chrysler lifter. The body, a spring, the plunger. This plunger has a check ball that could come out. And there's a little check ball and a spring inside that little piece on the end. And your pushrod cup. Now, when this lifter fills with oil, and the oil comes down through the push rod, past the cup, past the check ball, and fills up the body, there is really no way for the oil to bleed off. And I'll show you that. This is just the plunger, and this is just the body. There's no spring in there. There's nothing inside there. Just the tolerance of this plunger inside the body, which is, it's so tight. Let me show you. The tolerances are so tight that the only way for oil to escape is between that plunger and the inside diameter of that body. Now, how do you get that plunger in there? Well, let's put it together. Spring goes in there. Got to get that spring standing up. Then you put the plunger in there. Now, the interference is so tight that there is no way for oil to escape. So how do you get that plunger in there? You push down on the check ball, release the pressure, then your spring cup, then your safety wire. Your clip, your safety clip right there. The confusion comes in with the oiling. Chrysler feeds these through the push rod. But is there an oil galley running through there? There is. The oil galley is for the MDS lifter. So when the motor is not in MDS mode, there's no oil going through that galley, which means there's no oil going around the body of this lifter. There's no oil splashing on the roller. There is a performance place close to me that thinks all they have to do is turn the MDS off. If you turn the MDS off on your tune, then there's never any oil going around this lifter. So when the MDS comes on and the oil goes in through here and deactivates this lifter, the oil goes around and lubricates everything. So you don't want to just turn off the MDS in the tune. On an old school lifter, this is a Johnson lifter. On the old school lifters, this one oils both ways, through the push rod like a stock one, or through, I don't know if you can see that hole right here. That's how most lifters have a hole in the body that will bleed off oil pressure. This other hole right here is for axle oiling. These are the expensive Johnson lifters with axle oiling. So when MMX makes a little video on you sticking a little thing in here to bleed off the pressure, if this is completely full of oil, How will the oil bleed out of here? It has to come out from around the plunger and the pushrod cup. There's no other way for it to come out. Eventually it will, but that might take a while. And that is the reason for their video on taking brand new lifters, bleeding them off, so when you start your motor, you're not hanging the valves open. Done.